Hello. Hi, y'all. I have sat here for quite a while. So here I am. I finally pushed the button so I could see all your faces. But I've got this kind of not linear topics. So I'm asking God to help me. But it's weird, but when I begin this video, I feel like I'm sharing and I'm not alone anymore. And so it's really so good. It just feels hard to put my thoughts together. So here we go. And look at my curls. I had my hair washed and styled this morning. So thank you to my friend. And let's see. So y'all, I thought I wanted to say that for anybody who wandered on, friend, family, or stranger, I am talking a lot about scleroderma right now because I was diagnosed in January with this rare disease. So I thought I would give a little overview, and it's hard to kind of remember. So those of you who know, I thought I would give an overview. Very brief. I don't have anything written down. So anyway, it's a rare autoimmune disorder. So all autoimmune disorders are your body thinking it needs to fight something going on in your body, but it's not there. So it starts fighting itself. Well, with scleroderma, if you think about it, you know what derma means, skin. And sclera means hard or thick. So at its core, or the most well-known parts of scleroderma, are that the skin gets thick and hard. So parts of my body now are hard like marble. I think it was one of my daughters who used the word marble, and I was like, yes! Oh, thank you. That's the perfect word to describe what I feel is happening to me. So it's a bit terrifying, and I mean, it feels terrifying at times. It's like a terrorizing disease. I think of the ALS as the most terrorizing disease. And I have a friend who recently died from ALS, my college roommate, Erin Kirby, my dear, beautiful friend. Anyway, and so I've always thought of that as the worst of all, and I still think it is. Scleroderma is, I don't know, it's second, third, fourth, fifth, something like that. So scleroderma, it involves your skin, and it's, you never know, head to toe, where is it going to just start thickening up? And what it's doing is it's laying down scar tissue. So, when your body gets a cut, take action. Stop the blood. I'm not scientific. And lay down the scar tissue. And because that helps it just stop. It doesn't lay down a lot, But my body thinks that it needs to keep laying down scar tissue everywhere. So the main areas I have been getting thickened skin and hardened. It's thickened and hardened. One is my hands. So, oh my God, they look horrible. So this is the marble part. This part, it's hard and it's flat. It's flattened because of all the hard tissue under there. So see it? And then you also, it's just terrible. There's all these things that go with it. You get these, this is my worst sore, but you get little sores on your knuckles and also on your fingertips. Hello, where's the camera? And these are raw. And then Scleroderma also hardens, it lays down scar tissue in your joints. So I have very stiff, see this hand? This one, stiff joints. This, it can go back better, but it's lost a lot here. And so, I have to work, and there's a little bit of swelling in there still. So anyway, and also you get discoloration of your skin. So can you see it's sort of like salt and peppery? It gets these like dots of black and also just, you know, some redness. Look at my skin, y'all. Ah! What is that? Mama. So the tanning part, like I get tan. It's very weird. I haven't been out in the sun, but I get tan. And so like this side is taking off the melanin. And right here, let's see. Have you seen this part? So it's taken, the skin peels, it peels, and it ends up, I think it's taking down, maybe way down too low on the layers of skin. I don't know about that, but I wonder if I'll ever get my melanin back. So, but that is a minor thing compared. So what I would prefer is to get my joints back. So my knees are kind of like this thing. That's how they are. And also my ankles are like this. They can flex pretty good, but then to point, they look like this. You know, push down hard on the accelerator. My hips, it's a little harder to, you know, compare, but they're very tight. They're very tight too. Let's see, what else is there? My fingers, as you can see, are just terribly tight. So you get the hardening of skin. This is horrible. And then that's not all. Well, you get the sores, already said, but you also get gastrointestinal issues. Like I kept seeing, oh, people with scleroderma have heartburn. Big deal. Well, I tell you, it's not a big, I mean, it is a big deal. It's getting to where I don't want to eat because I feel so bad after, and I'm afraid that I'm going to have terrible reflux. And it's very sad, it's horrible. You know, my joy and delight in food, I've always been a food lover. And also just like we had lunch with some friends today, and yesterday I had a pretty bad situation with reflux. It caused some vomiting. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm going to tell you what this is like. I ended up not being able to control it, and I vomited, but I was home alone, so it was okay. Craig was actually sleeping, so he ended up coming and helping me, realizing what was happening. But anyway, so, you know, today, that was just yesterday, and today we're having lunch at a restaurant with friends at Panera Bread. And I'm thinking, am I going to suddenly throw up? So sorry I am depressing y'all today. I was gonna try not to do that, but it's been kind of hard lately. So, but we had a lovely time with our friends, and I had that little fear, and I just ate a little bit because I was nervous about that, and the food was kind of overly rich, and so I didn't eat very much, but that was okay. And then we just had such a great time together, you know, like the kind of time that's worth living for. So, so as I'm talking, I want you to think about darkness and light, and death and life. So scleroderma has the gastrointestinal stuff, and there's also a problem with feeling full when you just start to eat. There's something about it, I can't remember, the food doesn't move through or something, and you get a full feeling really quickly. So those are things that make it easy to lose weight. I have stayed at a low weight, but I haven't dropped any weight lower than the lowest in a couple months. So that's been really good. But my heartburn issue seems to be accelerating. So I just today asked God, Lord, would you decelerate that issue? Would you just pull that back? Please, please, please. Oh dear. Anyway, and so third thing with scleroderma is it works on your veins. So I guess there's four main things. It works on your blood vessels, and that's why I have these little anyway, little sores and get blue fingers and whatnot because I don't get oxygen or blood flow, because scleroderma affects your blood vessels. Well, it also affects your main organs, or it can. So, you know, it's just something that can just be in the back of your mind, sort of terrorizing you, like, yes, I could take your life. I could get to your heart. I could get to your lungs, your kidneys. So, sorry, I'm just looking to see if there's glare for you. Okay, anyway. So that is scleroderma, and there are varying degrees. Some people have a non-systemic type, and so don't get scared at first if you hear you might have scleroderma, because you may have the non-systemic type, and that would be awesome. And the other type might just be okay, but mine has been very aggressive. And so what's been really hard in the last couple weeks, 2 weeks, we started trying to change my pain medicine, and that's That always ends up hard. Oh, it gets worse before it gets better. So I have pain that I hadn't had in a long time, and it's, you know, moderate to severe. And so I've been having some of that in the last 2 weeks, and that's been super hard. But in those 2 weeks, there was also Easter. And that was so sweet. It was so neat. You know, we had Hannah and Ben were able to come, and they stayed for 3 full days and 4 nights. And we did a Good Friday service at our church, but it was a walking Stations of the Cross. And it was so neat. And the kids, there were things for all of us to do hands-on. So we felt really connected as a group as we walked through. And they had the readings of Jesus, you know, final passion stuff. And it was just so beautiful. We tied this red scarf pieces together. You each had one, and we tied each other's together in one long scarfy rope. And when we got into the church, we wrapped it around the cross. It was so beautiful. It was so amazing. And, you know, it was cold and rainy. It was like misty when we did it, and that was pretty neat. And Craig said that, you know, the night before when Jesus was arrested, Peter went to warm himself by the fire. And so it was perhaps a similar kind of a climate for us when we were doing the Stations of the Cross. So it was so meaningful. But I was thinking, you know, but it's death. I mean, we're looking at just a shattering death, you know, our own treasured love and Lord being crucified. And so, and yet his love that took him there, you know, you've got the death and the love, and then of course the resurrection. So the death and the life. And it's all, those things are central to the universe we live in. And so as I'm going through scleroderma, and as I was going through it during the Stations of the Cross, hold that thought. As I was saying, it was cold. And so the Stations of the Cross took maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't know, but it was my first test of being out in the cold, because with scleroderma, you get cold anyway, just in normal temperatures, and it causes more pain in your joints. It causes more stiffening up of things. And so I did get really stiff and painful. The pain in my hips and my knees and my ankles and my hands, I was just very surprised. And it was all so, you know, it was like the death that Jesus was walking toward. It was like I felt it in my body. So having scleroderma and then doing Easter, it was interesting. It was hard because I really hurt, and I worried about being able to walk to get back to the church. But Hannah kind of propped me, and we got into the church and it was warm, and I started getting better. And then on Easter morning, I wasn't able to go to the sunrise service because it was cold. And so there were some really hard things about having scleroderma this year, this Easter. And yet, you know, I've been having these symptoms since about October, first one starting in August and then coming more full on and by October. And then they just keep going little by little, more and more. So to have Easter come, like, oh, I'm not just on this journey that goes nowhere. I'm on this journey that goes to the path and the, I hate to call it just a place because it's not just a place, but this other age, this new age that won't have scleroderma. So that's been some of what's gone on in my 2 weeks. That is not all though, folks. I'm going to tell you a little bit more. Before Easter, my dad discovered that he is now in his last season of his life. He has had colon cancer since 2019. He and I both were diagnosed with cancer in 2019, and no one in our family had had cancer before that. And my brother-in-law was also diagnosed in 2021, right, Johnny? So anyway, just to let you know how our family has been experiencing Dad's cancer. It's been just a lot of all of us, like, oh, whoa, back and forth. And, but Dad, he's been fighting the cancer. It's been coming back, and he discovered that he is now in stage 4 colon cancer. And so I don't want to say too much about that right now. I just want to say how shocking that is for our family and how difficult. And I mean, I can't really talk about it, you know. I'm just going to stick to the facts mostly. For now. But Dad, the way Dad has always approached his life, and the way he's approaching this news and the new season is so beautiful. It is, he thinks about a future life. And so again, there's death and there's life. And there's a darkness, I think. You know, I think we all can fear when we're approaching death. There's a sense of, is there going to be a darkness for me? But God is light. And so I think that there is, and Dad knows that there is a hope, that he will see light in God. So let's see, what else? Let me see. This verse was in the Lectio 365, I think last night maybe. It says, let me move this. I am he who, so this is God talking. I am he who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you. I will sustain you, and I will rescue you. So I really was so encouraged about that, thinking for myself with all I've been going through lately. But it's kind of nifty to think about it for Dad too. And the other verse that they quoted was, let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love. And that I just love that so much, because it's like every day has had so much hardship and a good bit of sorrow and a good bit of pain. But let the morning bring me, it's very personal. Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love. So this is now me talking to God. For I have put my trust in you. Show me the way I should go. So both of those are just so lovely. One talking to God and needing him to show up. I mean, first moment I'm aware that there's a morning. I need to know. I need to hear word of your unfailing love. And then the word that God has to me and to you is, I am he who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you. I will sustain you, and I will rescue you. So I love those, and those have been so helpful to me, just the thoughts from other scriptures through the last couple of weeks, and just those ideas are kind of always with me. In a way, some of them, bits here and there. Sometimes I'm just like, hey, what is it? What do I need to remember? I don't know. What goodness is there in this world? What do I have to hope in? Sometimes I'm like that. But usually something can come to me. But, okay, I need to think of how to finish this. I had a few other thoughts to share. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to finish with this story. So I've had a lot of pain. And y'all, I have never known chronic pain. I just can't believe that there are so many people in this world who live with chronic pain. I don't know. Sure, maybe it's just a problem in their back that keeps coming and going. And I guess it depends on the extremity, the level of pain, like the pain range I talked about, is it a 3? Is it a 4? Is it a 7, 8, 9? I know that some people live in the higher levels. So I have been living with we have not been able to figure out how to get me to a 3, 4, which was like my hope. I'm living at a 5, 6, and since we've been changing the medication, I was many hours have been more like 5, 6, 7, and a lot of 7. And and then just having all those other complications that I discussed. So Thursday and Friday. Thursday, I just found myself sobbing. And some of this, I wonder if it's the pain medication. I don't know, but I take like 3 different kinds. One's for nerve pain, ones to kind of keep a steady dosing, and ones to have a more immediate dosing. I mean, it's just terrible. And so I guess, the scleroderma, I don't understand it, but it's obviously working on my nerves to be so painful. Anyway, so my Thursday was hard, and you just think, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. You're not suicidal. I've heard a lot of people talk about this, and I am not suicidal. I don't want to die. I don't want to take my life, but sometimes I don't want to be living this life anymore in those moments. And so, but again, it's like I can be out of that sense of fear, that sense of desperation, kind of. I might be out of it in an hour or two and be distracted enough by joyful things, and be able to get myself in a place of comfort, different things I can do to help me, like just sit very still, or and have somebody with me, and whatever. So there's so much joy. It's crazy. So anyway, but I wanted to share that Thursday night, my sister and her husband, our dear friends, I never want to say names on here. Okay, is that okay? But obviously these people have names and they're very close friends. So they brought a tool so that they could screw into this glass box. Have you seen glass boxes? I've had this thing forever. And at Christmas, my lights had gone out. They died. And now they brought them back to life. They brought my lights back to life. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? It looks kind of, ooh, okay, so, and they brought this lovely, so I usually have Christmas ribbon around this thing, and I keep it on my kitchen counter, and it just brings me so much joy. And I was bemoaning that it was out of light this year. And so here it is, April, they remembered, and they brought the tool. They knew I'd been having a hard day, and because we couldn't get the new fresh lights back in there, the hole was too small. We didn't know how the original person got in there. Anyway, so they did it. And then we need a glue gun. So I threw away my glue gun when we moved because I only used it about once every decade. So they brought that, and it just made me so happy. I was still in pain when they were here, yet, gosh, what would I have done without them? Just lovely, lovely distraction. So then the next day, Friday, let's see, I think I had some sort of appointment to go to. Yeah, I had 2 appointments. I had PT, and I'll tell you about that soon, hopefully. But, and it totally wore me out. And that was the day I got sick. But I recovered quickly from the feeling sick thing. So my stomach kind of wanted food again. And so a friend had asked if she could bring our dinner on Friday night. So she showed up. I couldn't go to the door because I wasn't feeling well. I'd been sleeping like for 2 to 3 hours, and I just didn't feel great. But Craig walked in the room with the dinner, sort of. We had asked if she could pick up, where can I pick up your favorite dinner? So the soup from a Thai restaurant. She picked it up. She brought it in lights. She brought it in lights. Okay, it's not gonna look near as fancy. And okay, so Craig brought it into me, and the room wasn't dark, but it wasn't bright. And he brought in a tray of lights. Okay. Of goodness lit up. Okay, I don't think it's gonna let this. Okay, hang on. Okay. Oh God. Okay. So Craig comes in like this. Oh, see those lights? Okay, and in the tray was a place setting for two of what do you call it? A plate and a bowl and silverware and napkins and cups. This one, I've been drinking lemonade out of it. And uh-oh, get the water off my desk. And it was lights, and I thought, she didn't know that the night before I had said, oh, I'm always saying I need more twinkle lights in my life. She didn't know that, but God did. He knew. And as she was being the, just woman she is, she thought to bring those twinkle lights. So I knew God loved me, and I knew our friend loves us so much. And it was because it was just out over the top special. See that? Have you seen that? Anyway, so, there's a lot of death in this world we live in. There is. And we would be foolish to try to pretend there isn't. And we miss a lot if we pretend, because if we've got to open our eyes to what is going on in this world. And so, I don't think it's just organic materials dying in the earth and making some new wonderful soil and dirt. I think it's spiritual, and it's not really natural spiritually for there to be death. And so that's why God has brought life in his Son. And the darkness that we often feel in this world, God comes with light. And so I'm in the process of trying to find God when I just am like, no more. Why am I having to go through this? I don't want to live this day like this and have all this envy of other people's hands. I started noticing I have hand envy big time. I just love to watch people's hands, and I can't believe what they can do with their hands. Like even, people who are my age. I used to bemoan like some of the arthritis I had been getting, in my index finger. You can kind of see that bump. And it would hurt. It would. It's legitimate. It would hurt when I'd write. I was trying to work on getting that better. But my gosh, hand envy. And then leg envy. Oh my gosh, people. So I go, okay, I'm rambling. Am I? Or am I going somewhere with this? Oh, let me think. I knew I was. Oh shoot, now I've lost my way. Wait. Can y'all wait? This is the longest video yet. Ever yet. Okay. Oh well. I know y'all love stories. But it had to be going somewhere. Okay, I was talking about hand envy and all that stuff because why? Oh, I wish y'all could tell me. You know how I got there. Oh boy. this world has pain. Yes, it does. Because, yes, that's how I got there. I'm going somewhere with this. So, I'm sorry, y'all. Let's see. So, I-E-I-O. This is hard. This is really hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever gone through. And I want my life back sometimes. You know, I watch people doing things. And so when I go to OT and PT, I have to go upstairs and go through a gym area to the place. And there are all these retired people, you know, ranging from a little older than Craig. He's 62. I'm only 59. Wait, how can that be? He must be 63. Ah! Okay, Craig's 63. And anyway, you know, some people our age, but mostly older. They're like 70s. Maybe 80, maybe some in their 80s. Yes. And they have their hands and they're doing stuff and they're walking the track and, you know, they look pretty lithe. And I'm just, oh, I wanted that to be me. You know, it's just awful. And so this world has death. And wherever you are experiencing it, please try to find God. I am definitely, I mean, it's just like, God, you have to be there. And sometimes I feel like he's quiet when I'm asking, and then some things will show up, like these, ow, my elbow, like these lights. And let me show you this one more thing. Okay. Oh no. Just, somebody made this for me. They hand stitched it. Cross stitch, I guess. Maybe not. It's something else. So you can believe this for you. But so I'm gonna say goodbye with my lights. Okay. So remember that there is darkness in this world, but there's also lights. And I'm coming. And okay. Let's see if this is gonna make it. I wish I'd have gone opposites. Okay, there are lights. Shoot. SH bleep. Okay, there are lights, okay? God is light, okay? Bye.